Hello viewers, I'm Dr. Pandurangan Nayak, Principal and Associate Professor of Commerce, Sri Venkatramana Swamy College, Bangalore. Today I'm going to solve a problem under the head income from other sources, part 3. So problem is problem number 5. So it's given like this: calculate the income of Mr. X from other sources from the following information. A small problem. So first item is winning from lottery. Actually, it's a gross amount. So no TDS has been made. Therefore, 1 lakh as it is should be taken. If it is given received from lottery income, then whatever amount is given, that is after TDS, that should be grossed up. But here it is the gross amount. The amount received from risk winnings, so here 35,000 is received after TDS of 30%, so it should be grossed up. So gift received, here gift exceeding 50,000 is fully taxable. So here gift from 20,000, and similarly gift from his NRI friend 18,000. So 18,000 received from his friend. If you take 20,000 individually, that is exempt, but tax after is 50,000 or more in aggregate, that is taxable. Therefore, 20,000, 80,000 and 18,000 together, that will be 1,18,000, that is taxable. Received a gift of rupees 1 lakh from his elder brother. So any gift received from a relative, it is exempt. Similarly, received rupees 1,40,000 as gift on his marriage. The gift received at the time of marriage is exempt. But if gift is received at the time of marriage anniversary, that is taxable. So that's about this problem. Income from other sources is 4,68,000. Now we will move on to the problem number 6. Ahmed has following investment in his previous year. So 12,000 10% central government securities. So this is a taxable government security. So no TDS. So straight away apply 10% on this. So 1,000 you will get, that is taxable. 36,000 10% tax-free commercial security. So when tax-free commercial security is given, whether the rate is given or the amount is given, that should be grossed there. Your rate is given, apply the rate, you will get 3,600, that should be grossed up, and therefore that will come to 4,000 rupees. Next, 9,000 interest received on tax-free debentures of public limited company. This is also tax-free commercial security. Here the amount is given. Whether the rate is given or the amount is given, that should be grossed up. So 9,000 should be grossed up. So 9,800 by 90. So this 3,000 interest received on Karnataka government bonds. So this is a taxable government security. No TDS. So entire amount should be taken as income. 4,500 as received on company securities. If nothing is mentioned, it is taken as less tax commercial security. So 4,500 is received after TDS of 10%. So 4,500 into 100 by 90 is the procedure for grossing it up. Then next, dividend received from a cooperative society is taxable, whereas if dividend is received from a domestic company, that is exempt up to 10,000. Jewelry worth 60,000 received as a gift from a friend. So gift could be either in cash or in property. If the total amount exceeds rupees 50,000, that is taxable. So here jewelry is falling under the term property. Therefore, the amount is more than 50,000. Therefore, it is taxable. Winning from lottery, it's very clearly given net amount. Therefore, it should be grossed up by multiplying 100 and dividing by 70. Interest on deposit at a national deposit scheme, that is a taxable government security, and there is no TDS, so 8,000 should be taken as it is. Interest received after TDS on the FD in Canara Bank, 10,800. That is the net amount very clearly given, so that should be grossed up. So 10,800 into 100 by 90. Then for purchasing the tax-free commercial securities, he took a loan of 30,000 at 10% per annum from his friend in Bahrain. Actually, tax-free commercial security is taxable. The rule is, if the income is taxable, expense is deductible. But here, the expense is not deductible. Why? It's given here. Just see the note. Since tax is not deducted at source, the interest payable to his friend in Bahrain is not allowed as deduction. So that is why this is not allowed as a deduction. Okay, the interest has been paid in Bahrain, but no deduction of tax at source is made. Okay, that's why it is not deductible. He also claims an expenditure of 2,000 incurred for purchasing lottery tickets. So in the case of casual incomes like winning from lotteries or say crossword puzzles or races including horse race or any betting, etc., any expense incurred that is not deductible from the prize money. Therefore, here 2,000 expenditure incurred for purchasing lottery ticket, that's not allowed as expense. So just go through the calculations made here in the process of calculating income from other sources. Already I explained all these things. So gross total income is 16,08,200. Interest on loan, it is not deductible as mentioned in note. So net taxable income is 16,08,200. Since the interest received is given, we have assumed that it is 4,500 is after TDS at 10% because in the case of commercial less tax securities, there is always TDS. There is no TDS on dividend of cooperative society. TDS on lotteries is 30%. National Deposit Scheme is a Government of India scheme and hence no TDS. It is considered to be taxable government security. Interest on bank FD of ₹10,000 or above. In this case, there is a TDS of 10%. Since tax is not deductible at source, the interest payable to his friend in Bahrain is not allowed as deduction. Already we have understood about this. Cost of lottery tickets or collection charges on lottery price is not deductible. Okay, now we'll move on to problem number 7. Rent from subletting of house is 36,000. Okay, this is the income on subletting. Subletting means you are in a rented house. Now you are subletting portion of that to somebody else, and therefore you are entitled to get income. So 36,000 is the income derived by subletting. So the income in the sense in the form of rent. But you have paid 48,000 for the entire house. The entire house is not sublet, only 1/3 portion of the house is sublet. So calculate the proportionate rent paid. So 48,000 divided by 3. That means you will get 16,000. So 36,000 minus 16,000, then you get 20,000. That is the net income from subletting. That's taxable. Agriculture income from partner. Partner is in India, so agriculture income in India is exempt under section 10. And then royalty received by publishing a book on management, 1,60,000. He paid salary to the clerk to the extent of 10,000 for the typing and proofreading. So any expenses connected to that income should be deducted. So 1,60,000 minus 10,000. So 1,50,000 is taken as income. This is a family pension of 75,000. So here it is subject to a standard deduction, and the rule of standard deduction is 1/3 of 75,000 or 15,000, whichever is less. So here if you apply 1/3, so that will be more than 15,000. So 1/3 of this or 15,000, whichever is less, means 15,000. So 15,000 you have to deduct from 75,000. So you will get yes, 60,000 in this year. From 75,000 you are deducting the least of the two, that is 15,000. So you will get 60,000. Okay, next item is yes, getting income from publishing the article. So 25,000 rupees, that is taxable. Salary of an MLC, so that is taxable under the head income from other sources. Normally salary is taxable under the head income from salary, but here there is no employer-employee relationship, and MLC is a public servant, therefore that is falling under the head income from other sources. But daily allowance received by MLA, MLC, MP, all these people are exempt from tax. So not taxable, exempt. The next, received interest on tax-free Government of India bonds. So this is a tax-free Government of India bond, security. So interest received thereon, it is exempt under section 10 of section 15. Gift received from his friend, since the amount exceeds 50,000, entire amount is taxable. He is a cricketer and he received for playing one test match in India, the amount received was 80,000. So this is taxable. Director's fees received is taxable under the head income from other sources. Examination remuneration is also taxable. Income from guest stocks is also taxable. Capital investment bonds, this is exempt and therefore that is not taxable. We have 12% tax-free bonds of Agra municipality worth ₹60,000, which is sold on 1/9 of the previous year. That means you have to find out what are the due dates of this interest. This given interest on these securities becomes due on 30th June and 31st December. So when the interest is due on 31st December, he is not holding the security. Only when the interest is due on 30th June, he was in possession of the security. Therefore, on these tax-free bonds of Agra municipality, only half year's interest will be taken. And it is tax-free commercial security. Therefore, whether the rate is given or the amount is given, it should be grossed up. So you have to apply 12% on 60,000, and on that amount you have to calculate. You have to reduce that amount to half year, and then it should be grossed up. So it is like this. 12% tax-free bonds of Agra municipality, 60,000 into 12% into half, you will get 3,600. That should be grossed up 100/90. Okay. Similarly, on the same day, we purchased 10% debentures worth ₹50,000 of ABC Limited. So you have to calculate 10% on this 50,000, so then you get 5,000. If the rate is given in the case of less tax commercial security, there is no question of TDS while calculating the taxable amount. So this itself is the gross amount. So 50,000 into 10%, so 5,000 should be taken as taxable income. Of course, the holder of this security will get 50,000 into 10% minus TDS of 10%. Here, since it is purchased on 1st of September, you have to calculate the interest for half year. Yes, so that's about this item. Next one, you earn ₹84,000 from lottery ticket. So is the gross amount. If it is given received 84,000 from winning from lottery, then of course that would have been considered as net amount and that should have been grossed up. So no need of doing that. You paid a commission of 200 for a collection of interest on securities. This is deductible. The cost of lottery ticket was 100. This is not deductible because any expenses incurred In the case of casual incomes like winning from lottery, crossword puzzles, races including horse race, betting, so this expense is not at all deductible from such incomes. Okay, just have a quick glance over this. Income from subletting 36,000 minus 1/3 of the rent paid, proportionate amount, so 16,000, net amount is 20,000. Agriculture income from Patna. Agriculture income in India is exempt. Royalty received from publishing a book 1,60,000 and expense incurred in connection with that 10,000. So remaining amount is 1,50,000. Received family pension 75,000, but a standard deduction is allowed as standard deduction is allowed here. So that is 1/3 of family pension received, or rupees 15,000 which is less. So 15,000 is lesser than 2. So if you deduct, the remaining amount is 60,000. Published articles in journals, so 25,000 taxable. Salary of MLC is taxable here, but daily allowance is not at all taxable. It is exempt under section 10. Interest on tax-free Government of India bonds exempt. Gifts received from friends, amount exceeds 50,000, so entire amount is taxable. As a cricketer, he receives remuneration for playing one test match, so that is taxable. Director's fees, that is taxable here. Examiner's remuneration is also taxable. Income from guest stocks taxable. Investment in capital investment bonds, so any income from this is exempt. The next, interest on 12% tax-free bonds of Agra municipality. So first you have to calculate the amount by applying the rate, and that has to be calculated for half the year, and then that should be crossed up. Already I explained it earlier. Interest on 10% damages of ABC Limited, less tax commercial security, and you have to apply the rate. And since you have purchased on 1st November, it should be calculated for half the year, so 2,500. Winning from lottery, yes, so 84,000, gross amount is given there. So total gross amount is 5,84,500. From that, deduct collection charges 200, so you are getting 5,84,300. So some notes are given here. Salary of MLC is taxable under income from other sources, as there is no employer-employee relationship. Interest on 7% capital investment bonds is exempt under section 10 subsection 15. Interest on 12% tax-free bonds of Agra municipality is actually not tax-free, unlike central government tax-free securities. Therefore, interest on these securities should be grossed down. Of course, for half year, since we have sold it on 1st of September. Cost of lottery tickets purchased is not allowed as deduction from winning from lottery. Now we'll move on to the next problem, problem 8. Anil has the following investments in the previous year. 30,000, 10% UP government bonds. So it is a taxable government securities. Straight away apply 10% on 30,000, that is 3,000. So no TDS. 25,000, 8% Agra municipal bonds. It is a less tax commercial security. So apply 8% on 25,000, you get the amount. But since rate is given, so that is the gross amount. So straight away that has to be taken. So 25,000 into 8%, so 2,000, that is the gross amount, and therefore as it is you have to take. 22,500, 10% improvement trust debentures. So this also a less tax security. So you have to apply this. Apply 10% on 22,500, and is a gross amount, but it is purchased on 1st November. So you have to calculate interest for half the year. 20,000 units of UTI. So dividend received from UTI is exempt. Then 1,50,000 in fixed deposit with the SBI, on which interest at 9% per annum is payable. So 1,50,000 into 9%, okay, that comes to 13,500. So straight away you have to take it because that is the gross amount. Yes, the next 20,000 12% tax-free debentures listed of Reliance Limited purchased on 1st October of previous year. So tax-free. So whether the rate is given or the amount is given, that should be gross tax. So first apply 12% rate on 20,000, get the amount and calculate it for half the year, then gross income. Next 2,000 12% interest received on the debentures of cooperative society. So interest from cooperative society is not subject to TDS. So entire amount should be taken. 2,000 amount is given here. 2,000 is received. So 2,000 should be taken as income. Then 50,000 in post office savings bank account, which earns interest at 4%. So any amount exceeding 3,500 is taxable, but if it does not exceed 3,500, that is exempt. Then 3,600 as interest on government securities, so it is taxable government securities. So there is no TDS. 3,600 is taxable. 5,400 as interest on debentures of Meghaduta Limited. So not listed, whether listed or not listed, it doesn't make any difference. It's a less tax commercial security. Therefore, 5,400 is received, and therefore that should be gross tax. 7,200 as interest on debentures of Mercury Paints Limited, being listed. As I mentioned, listed or not listed, it makes no difference. So here it is less tax commercial security. So amount is given, 7,200 is received after TDS of 10%, so it should be gross tax. And 15,000 dividend received on equity shares of an Indian company, that is exempt from tax, because dividend from domestic company is exempt up to 10 lakh. It is 50,000 being advance money forfeited on sale of residential house, that is taxable under head income from other sources. She inherited 25,000 12% Bombay government loan from her father on 1st December of previous year. The interest on securities is payable on 1st January and 1st July each year. So on 1st July, he was not holding the security. So he inherited it only in the month of December. Therefore, he is entitled for only January month's interest due on 1st January. That is 25,000 into 12% into half. So that is the interest that is taxable. The SSC's husband, Mr. Anil, died on 10th June of the previous year. She received rupees 3 lakh as gratuity and rupees 78,000 as family pension. So gratuity received by the successor of the deceased, it is totally exempt from tax. As far as family pension is concerned, here there are 3 claimants. So Mrs. Anil as well as 2 children. So together 3 claimants. So 78,000 must be reduced to 1/3. And then you have to go for standard deduction. Standard deduction is 1/3 of that amount, or rupees 15,000, whichever is less. Then again there is one more thing here. Compute the income from other sources considering collection charges at 1% of interest realized on securities. So that will take it up later. Yes. So interest on 30,000, 10% government bonds, no TDS, straight away 3,000. Interest on 8% Agra municipal bonds, less tax commercial security. Since the rate is given, straight away you are calculating. 10% improvement trust debentures. Yes, it is purchased on 1st November, and therefore you apply the rate and then calculate it for half the year, since it is purchased on 1st November. Dividend received from UTI exempt. Interest on FD with the SBI. So rate is given, straight away apply it. So 13,500. And then interest on tax-free debentures of Reliance Limited, purchased on 1st October. Therefore rate is given, apply the rate. Sorry, tax-free. So apply the rate and reduce it for half year. So you get 1,200. Since it is tax-free debenture, so it should be grossed up. So 1,200 into 119. Interest on 12% debentures of Cooperative Society, no TDS, so straight away 2,000. Interest on Post Office Savings Bank account, okay, 4% on 50,000 comes to 2,000, it's less than 3,500, so totally exempt. Interest on government securities, as it is no TDS, 3,600. Interest on debentures of Meghdut Limited, less tax commercial security, so amount is given, so cross it up. So interest on debentures of Mercury Paints Limited listed, so amount is given, less tax commercial security, cross it up. Then dividend received on equity shares is exempt up to 10 lakh. Advance money forfeited on sale of residential house, that is civil. Interest on Bombay government loan, okay, inherited on 1st December, therefore calculated for just half the year. Then family pension, total amount received is 28,000, but there are 3 claimants, so you have to calculate 1/3 of that, 26,000. Standard deduction, 1/3 of 26,000 or 15,000, whichever is less. So 8,667, that is 1/3 of 26,000 is the lower of the two. So that is deductible from 26,000. So 17,333, that is the taxable amount. So gross amount is 1,09,391. Now collection charges at the rate of 1% on the net interest realized. And net interest realized is 26,712. On that you are calculating 1% commission, and that is taken as collection charges. But how you got this 26,712? Just look at the note here. See, point 1 here. Yes, no TDS here, 3,000. So as it is taken. So 3,000 is taken. Then point B, 2,000. So it is less tax commercial security. So 10% TDS. 10% of 2,000 is 200. As a result, net amount is 1,800. So here gross amount is 1,125. You can relate to that item point C. So 10% TDS is there. Therefore, that comes to 113. So net amount is 1,012. Here the gross amount is 1,333. TDS is 10%. Therefore, 133 is the TDS amount. The net amount realized is 1,200. So 2,000, that is the amount, gross amount. No TDS, and therefore 2,000 is the net amount. Here 3,600, point number I. So no TDS amount. So gross amount is also 3,600. 6,000, 10% TDS, amount is 600. So net amount is 5,400. So next one, 8,000, 10% TDS rate, amount is 800. So net amount is 7,400. So 1,500 and no TDS amount. So 1,500. So you have to relate these points to the related items. So total amount realized, net amount realized, that is 26,712. So these are the amounts calculated after excluding or after deducting TDS amount. So 26,712, that is the net interest realized. So on this you are calculating 1% commission, and that is the 267, and therefore 1,09,000 is the income from other sources. Okay, already I have told you 3,000. So gross amount as well as net amount is same, and even here 2,000. Okay, the rate, as the rate is given here 2,000, the net amount that is going to be received by the holder is not 2,000. So 2,000 minus 200, 1,800, and in the case of 10% improvement trust debenture is a less tax security. So 1,125 is the gross amount, but what the holder is going to receive is after deducting TDS of 10%, therefore remaining amount is the net amount realized. So like interest on tax-free debentures of Reliance Limited, 1,300 is the gross amount, but the net amount realized after TDS is 1,200. Then in the case of interest on cooperative society, okay, no TDS, 2,000 gross and 2,000 net. And this is interest on government securities, 3,600, no TDS, so 3,600, and net amount is also 3,600. Interest on Meghdut Limited, 6,000 is the gross amount, and TDS is 10%, and therefore net amount is 5,400. In the case of Mercury Paints, gross amount is 8,000, TDS is 10%, so net amount is 7,200. And then here interest on Bombay government loan, yes, 1,500 is the gross amount, so no TDS, and therefore net amount is also 1,500. So that way you have calculated. This is how you have calculated the net interest. Just have a quick glance over this, you will understand. So 26,712, that is the net amount on that 1% interest. See other notes here. There is no TDS on debentures of cooperative society or cooperative bank. Death cum retirement gratuity received by legal heirs of deceased person is fully exempt. Family pension is taxable under section 56 as there is no employer-employee relationship. Since there are 3 claimants to family pension, SSC share is 1/3 of 78,000. In the case of less tax securities, TDS is 10% whether the security is listed or not. Dividend from Indian companies is exempt up to this term. Well, by this I have completed everything. So thank you for giving a patient listening.